What is going on, guys? My name is Youngster JPound. First of all, Happy New Year, welcome back to my channel. It's probably been the longest time since I have recorded and uploaded to this channel, and I'm back bringing you a Pokemon ORAS Wi-Fi battle. And as you can see from the screen that is in front of you, I'm actually bringing you a Ubers match, and it's actually my first Wi-Fi Ubers battle against a guy called Mertyville. I actually found him on the Pokemon Showdown Wi-Fi chat room, and it actually turned to be a fairly good battle. So yeah, as I said, I'm fairly new to the Ubers metagame, still completely new to the ORAS metagame, not that there has been many changes from the two other than the introduction of some new megas, and of course the Primal Groundon, which you can see both me and him will be carrying. So anyway, that's enough of me talking, let's go ahead and get straight into this battle. So, not really sure what he's actually going to be wanting to lead off with. I'm actually going to decide to lead off with my Deoxys defense, which is actually a specially defensive Deoxys, carrying the Taunt, Magic Coat, Spikes, and a filler move. Can't quite remember what that is, as of course he is going to send out his Groundon, which is going to Primal Reverse, of course, holding that red orb as soon as he enters the battlefield, which does look absolutely amazing if I do not say so myself. And the way he leads off with the Groundon kind of tells me there might be a more defensive variant, and that he is going to want to try and set up his Stealth Rock. So with that in mind, I am actually going to go for the Magic Coat, try and bounce back the Stealth Rocks that he might try and go for himself, but he actually reveals that he's a Swords Dance variant, and straight off the bat I am already in the shitter, as one would say. And of course the +2 Precipade Blades from a Primal Groundon is easily going to take out this Deoxys defense version. Whether I was maybe max HP, max physical defense, might have been a different story, but of course that was a specially defensive variant, so there's not much I kind of could have done there. And you know, I'm in a bit of a predicament right now because I'm against a +2 Primal Groundon right now, and I'm pretty scared. So I decided to bring out my Kangaskhan, go for the Mega Evolution, and just go for the Fake Out just to see how much it does. And judging by that damage, it doesn't really do that much. So I know that I definitely can't try and stay around and get the potential KO with the return. So I am actually going to switch out into my Ho-Oh, predicting the that ground move that Groudon gets, and I dodge that very nicely, and he actually outspeeds me, but he reveals that he's only got the Dragon Claw, kind of telling me that he doesn't actually have a rock type move in the form of Stone Edge, and that's definitely nice to know, as I can get a choice banded, sun boosted Sacred Fire off from my bulky Ho-Oh, which does a hell of a lot of damage in the sun, of course. And predicting the Dragon Claw now, I do actually make a very nice switch out into my Fairy Arceus, which of course is not going to take any damage from that whatsoever. And he kind of knows he can't really touch me right now, and he's fearing the KO, and he actually makes a very nice switch into his Sizzle, predicting the Fairy type Judgment off my Arceus, and his Sizzle takes that extremely well. And of course he doesn't actually quite know what kind of Arceus I am yet, but he makes very good play, and switches out into his Sizzle, and I figured now is a fairly good time to go out into my Groudon. If the best he could do is possibly go for the knockoff, and of course I don't even think knockoff works with the red orb, as again I can just go for the primal reversion, and of course Desolate Land is going to activate as well, giving me quite a bit of an advantage over this times for weak to fire Sizzle. But of course still waiting for all the Primal Reversions and the Mega Evolutions to take place. He is actually going for the Mega Evolution and just go for the Bullet Punch, which was meant to take place on my Arceus about a good 10 minutes ago, of course, you know, with all the evolutions going on, and he realises that he's not in a very good position right now, and he is actually going to switch out. And predicting the switch, I am actually going to go for the Stealth Rocks, and he kind of makes a very good play because he does actually switch out into his Lugia. The way he brings it in kind of tells me that there's going to be a more of a physically defensive variant, as I am to a physically defensive Groudon, but of course I do get the Stealth Rocks up now, which is very, very nice. I can just safely just spam Dragon Tail for a couple of turns and see what that gets me, and hopefully, you know, try and get the Stealth Rocks to rack up a bit of damage. I actually Dragon Tail his Lugia out into his Reshiram, and this thing actually turns out to be quite a bit of a threat right now, and because I was max HP, I figured I might be able to take one of these. I'm pretty sure it is a resisted hit as well, but he does get a critical hit. I'm not really too sure if that mattered. I'm going to say it did matter, as I could have got a Dragon Tail out, and of course his Reshiram would have had to take another round of Stealth Rocks upon entry again. So yeah, that crit kind of changed the way this battle could have panned out, but in the long run it doesn't really matter too much, as I do get a bit of hacks later on against him in my favour. And I figure now I do get a free switch out into my Mega Kangaskhan, I can safely go for that fake out, get some free damage off, and again my opponent makes a very nice play, opponent making all of the better plays in this battle so far, as he predicts the Sucker Punch and actually goes for the Roost on that, which is going to get him back up to about 75-80% HP, and he definitely doesn't want to take a return from this Mega Kangaskhan right now, so he's actually going to switch out into his Arceus, which turns out to be Arceus Dark, by the look of that. I'm pretty sure it's Arceus Dark and not Arceus Ghost. Definitely Arceus Dark, as I do connect with the return, which does way over half against this thing, and I am actually able to pick up the easy KO. Mega Kangaskhan coming through, showing how much of a threat he is even in the Ubers tier, picking up the KO on the Arceus. So that's one threat out of the way. I'm glad I didn't get to find out what kind of set that Arceus was either. And in comes this this set of annoying fucking keys. These keys proved to be such, you know, just an annoying Pokemon to play against, and even in the Ubers tier, you know, he can easily just do the thing that he does the best, and that is set up screens, set up spikes with that prankster ability and an insanely good defensive typing. He is actually going to set up the Reflect, and judging by that, I do think that he is going to be a Light Clay variant, which means that Reflect is going to be up for a good 8 turns, and with the Reflect and his Lugia being max physically defensive, that Sacred Fire isn't going to do much at all, and I don't get the burn either, which is you know, very annoying, but I can just go for the switch out again, and of course because I am regenerated hidden ability hero, I am going to get 33% of my health back as well, which, you know, is just very nice. So on the basis that I think that his Lugia is physically defensive, I'm going to switch out into my my Mewtwo, which I think was Choice Scarf for this battle. I'll leave a comment later on if he wasn't. I'm pretty sure he was Choice Scarf. No, I take that back completely, he was not Choice Scarf. I think he's a Life Orb variant, as I am actually going to set up a couple of Carmines. Don't see Choice Scarf Carmines a lot in the metagame whatsoever. So I am going to take this chance to try and set up a couple of Carmines, knowing that this Lugia can't really do much against me. He is going to go for the Roost and get back his multi-scale ability as well, which does kind of prove to be a little bit annoying, because of course, you know, all hits he does take from full HP will be halved immediately. So I figured I might be able to get another Carmine off quickly, get myself up to +2/2, possibly maybe try and set up a sweep, as he actually reveals that his only attacking move is the Ice Beam, which is not going to do absolute jack shit against my Mewtwo being at +2 special defense and having pretty good natural special bulk as well. And I figured now I'd fire back with my own Ice Beam from +2, modest Mewtwo, and that doesn't even do half with the multi-scale either. And he's actually going to whirlwind me out, which kind of works out more in my favour, because the toxic damage was beginning to rack up quite a bit on my Mewtwo, and of all Pokemon to whirlwind me out into, he actually whirlwinds me into my Kangaskhan, and this is kind of where the hacks comes back in my favour. No, it's definitely not where it comes back in my favour, because I am just going to fake out right now, and this is where the battle kind of gets a little bit stally, a little bit repetitive, as knowing that his keys can't really do much against me, and Mega Kangaskhan is probably one of my hardest hitting Pokemon, with also hitting twice every turn. I do get a chance to crit, potentially crit through the Reflect, which will do quite a bit of damage, as you can see, even just after a round of fake out and return. The returns are doing a fair amount of damage against his Clefairy. Yeah, my opponent actually made a questionable play there. He went for the Reflect. I don't know whether he didn't realise that the Reflect ran out, or maybe he tried to set up his light screens, but now he is actually going to be able to set up his light screen and his Reflect, and with that up, as well as the natural physical bulk that Mega Scizor has, and potential defense investments as well, he's going to take this return very well behind that Reflect. And I'm kind of scared that he might go for the Swords Dance here, and I definitely don't want him getting the free Swords Dance up, so I am just going to continue to spam return onto his Mega Scizor. I've brought him down to a good 35-40% HP, as he actually makes a good play and just defogs away the Stealth Rocks that I set up, meaning that his Reshiram and his Lugia will be able to enter the battle freely, of course. And he actually decides to switch out here again into his Lugia, with the Stealth Rocks gone now, and I get a return off, which brings him down just under half HP. And this is where I kind of get the hacks back in my favour, as I do actually carry the Ice Punch on my Kangaskhan. And of course, Ice Punch does have a 20% chance to freeze, as do all elemental punches have a 20% chance to do their additional effect, and I actually get the freeze on his Lugia, which kind of proved to be very, very clutch in this battle, as he could have potentially gone for the roost and just simply stalled out my Mega Genghis-Khan. I don't carry the Power Up Punch, I'm running a Fake Out Return Sucker Punch and Ice Punch on this set, which actually works out entirely in my favour now, as I did get the freeze and I am able to take out his physically defensive wall with a crit as well. So Mega Genghis-Khan pulling through, slightly hacksy. I do apologise to my opponent for that, but that's kind of just part of the game, and I know I accept it, as I hope he does too. So he brings out his Reshiram now, and this is where I'm a bit scared, because this Reshiram is an absolute threat. That blue flare does a hell of a lot of damage. As you can see, I bring out my Arceus, which has quite a bit of special bulk, 120 stats across the board, as well as quite a bit of HP investment on this set as well. You see that blue flare does way over 70%, and there's an easy 2-hit KO on my Arceus, but I do actually make a questionable play, and I go for the recover here, as he actually decides to switch out, which works out very, very nicely in my favour, as he's now into his Scizor, and of course I definitely don't want to take a Bullet Punch from that Mega Scizor, being super effective on my Fairy type Arceus. So I decided to switch out into my Ho-Oh, and with that with that Lugia out of the way, Ho-Oh's kind of pretty much free to just spam Sacred Fires and pick up a lot of KOs. You can see it's ×4 super effective against the Scizor. Doesn't even care about what physical bulk Scizor has. That Choice Banded, Max Attack, Adamant, Sacred Fire from a Ho-Oh is going to do a hell of a lot of damage. And here he kind of brings in his Groundon, and I'm kind of thinking it might be more for Death Fart, but his Groundon does actually outspeed, but he just goes for the Precipite Blades, and yeah, I'm not really too sure what he was kind of doing there. I guess he tried to maybe scare me away with the Rock type move, but knowing that he had the Dragon Claw, I would have guessed that his fourth move would have been the Fire Punch in the Sun. So I am just gonna, not get scared away by that and just go out and just carry on picking up the KOs with Sacred Fire, as his Klefki does actually manage to set the Reflect being the Prankster ability as well, which does prove to be a bit of a nuisance, but is nothing for Ho-Oh to be worried about, as he can easily just KO that annoying fucking set of keys through the Reflect very, very nicely. And now this is where it kind of gets a little bit scary, as his Reshiram is on the battlefield behind the Reflect as well, which is most likely going to stay up for the remainder of the battle now, with both of us being down to our last few Pokemon. So I figured now I'd switch out into my Arceus, because he can take a couple of hits from this Reshiram, but he does actually make a very nice play and goes for the Roost. And my plan here is to kind of bring down his Reshiram to the amount of HP where Mega Genghis-Khan or Mewtwo can come in and kind of clean up the rest of the game. As of course I do know that his Reshiram is a Life Orb variant. That with Life Orb, Psyshock is hopefully going to bring him down to the point where I can pick up the KO, and that's exactly what's going to happen in this battle. He does pick up the KO, but after the Life Orb and a couple of rounds of Psyshock from this Arceus, I am able to safely bring in my Life Orb Mewtwo and simply finish up the game with the Psy Strike. So very, very good game, Mertyville. And fucking nice to be back, guys. Very, very good to very, very good one-pound fish to be narrating Wi-Fi battles for you guys once again. I am going to try and take the internet with Storm in this new year, 2015, and hopefully it's going to be a good one. New year, new me. Actually got my power save through the post the other day as well, which means I should be able to get quite a few teams out and play a variety of Wi-Fi battles as well in different tiers for you guys as well. So my name is Youngster J-Power. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. If you'd like to leave a like on this video, that'd be muchly appreciated, and if you'd like to also leave a comment down below. Question of the day is, what tiers do you want to see most on this channel? My name is Youngster J-Power. Thanks for watching.